How do we start this?
I know.
What actually is it? I am Phoebe. I am Jacque.
Welcome to.
Okay. I remember. Okay, ready?
I don't think I remember.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. Hi, I'm Jacque. And welcome to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm the $5 you found in an old pair of jeans and you just found them and you're so excited. Phoebe.
And I'm Jacque.
And welcome to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Where we ask the questions that everyone's thinking and no one's answering.
We did it. We remembered our intro. We're back. Ooh, Mariah Carey.
Ooh. We're back after our summer break.
After our summer break. How was break? How was break for you? How was summer? How's it been? It's still kind of summer. It's fall. Gilmore Girls. Fall coffee, pumpkins, sweaters, candles. We're back. Books, notebooks, studying.
I know.
Pencils.
Back to
pencils.
Wow, we're a performance. We're a performance today. This summer was terrible.
Yeah. You've had a time. You've had a time and a half.
Summer. Yeah, I mean, like, June was great. July was like kind of holding it together, and then August it was just
I will say August was like I was like looking at Instagram this morning and people are like, my summer. And I was like, I mean, I'll say this. I went away. So my mom got married this summer. My mom got married and we went to France end of June, which was nice. And then I got back mid-July and I was like, okay, I had a couple weeks of summer and I just felt extremely done with it after that. I was like, I went to France. Like, I don't need this. What is this Southern Ontario summer? It is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's gross. It's not cute. I don't want to be here. And then, I just felt like done with the rest of the summer, despite also taking a lot of time off. I was like, nah.
Yes, you had a little sabbatical.
Yeah, it's been good. I've been writing a ton. I've been very happy with that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, have been looking forward to the like, I don't know, how old do you have to be before you like stop getting the like pang of like kind of back to school anxiety? But I do find it very like fueling at the same time. So yeah. I've been looking forward to that, actually. You know?
I had some good moments this summer. Like, I did. Like, there were some great times. Even in August, which was kind of a shit show. But in general, I think that August as a concept, like,
we need to stop thinking it's a month. It's similar to December. It's similar to December. Like, knock it off. No one's working. Stop pretending to try to get shit done. It's fucking dumb. Like,
no one cares.
No one cares. It's been so funny. Like, truly one of my favorite things, like, you know, we've had like client deadlines and like we send stuff and they're like, oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Then why are we all here?
Yeah, it's like if everyone's on vacation, why are we trying to do anything? Like, I don't understand.
It's so odd.
I don't know. It's so strange. It's like what is the point of this month? And that's why we all need to take, like the Europeans do, right? And the whole month, like, just no.
Just no.
like, please.
I agree. I extremely agree. We saw each other this summer.
We did. It was so fun to go to Canada, and I came to Canada. I came to you, and I saw your life, and I was like, whoa. And now I feel like I understand you so much more as a human being.
I know. That's funny. I know we talk about this a lot on this pod, but I do find it endlessly fascinating the way Americans speak about Canada. And
Yeah.
even in that sentence, you saying you came to Canada is like a hilarious thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
don't think I would ever say I went to the States.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
I had somebody the other day, like an American, ask me, they're like, oh, they were talking about a place in BC. And they were like, they named the city. And then they went like, city, they were like, Vancouver, Canada. And I was like, I kind of made like a funny face. And they're like, or Vancouver, BC, Canada. And I was like, you say it the same way that you say state names. Like, don't act like you don't know what this is. I just think it's so odd. Anyway, that's just like my little uh American rant for
I
the
know.
moment.
Yeah, no, you live in a foreign country. Did you not know that?
My God.
Like, what? I don't understand. Like, oh my God, no, of course I don't fucking actually think that. But like, we're raised that way,
It
right?
is, I just, the reason I bring it up is because I do find it shocking all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's shocking each time. I'm like, but there are other people
Yeah.
in the world. It's wild. And
Should
then,
we
like, what?
go ahead?
No, that's it. It's just like, I'm confused by it.
I know. Should we share my customs story with the pod?
What one? Jacqueline calls me 20 minutes from the border asking me about
Yes.
some passport rule that I've genuinely never heard of in my entire life,
Mhm.
asking if it's in effect here. And she's saying she's on the phone Googling and calling me and driving at the same time. And I'm, please stop. I said, why don't you just drive to the border to find out?
True.
You'll be there in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Is
Mhm.
that the customs story that you had in mind?
No, the custom stories I had
Oh
in
my
mind
God.
was
Right. Remind me to never travel with you.
I like I have like authority issues.
Mhm.
And they manifest in a lot of ways, obviously, but like the biggest one is like or no, like I don't know. Whatever. I have authority issues. And so I don't understand like when things are official, like why they have to be official. Like I don't and
Yeah,
I
because
I
you're a
like
white woman.
yeah, exactly. I did the most embarrassingly privileged shit at at customs that was like so ridiculous. And I was like, "Oh my God, like what is wrong with me?" Like and then on the other side of the interaction, I was like, "Oh right, I'm a white lady." Like that's what's wrong. You know, I was like, "Jeez Louise." Yeah, I just thought it was okay to like joke with this customs officer.
I mean, I
And it
will
wasn't
say,
even a
and
joke. I actually was telling like the honest to God truth,
yeah,
but I wasn't thinking about how it sounded, right? Because I was
yeah.
like, I met this
Tell the people
person.
what you're saying. Tell the people what
Yes.
you're saying.
So I pull up to the customs thing, and this person was very nice. I think also
This
I
was
got all confused
this was
because
coming in, or
this was coming in to
okay.
Canada, and I think I got confused because she was nice.
Yes,
Like
I
I
will say
think,
the Canadian customs going into the States is
yeah,
I there's
totally different.
no niceties, like not even a
Yeah,
smile. Like whenever I cry, I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like,
exactly.
"Okay, I
Exactly. It's like
understand
when
the
I
performance
moved.
of it all."
Yes, exactly. It's like when I moved from like the DC area
Yeah,
to Pennsylvania or like
right.
to Chicago and all of a sudden the TSA agents in the airport were like nice
Mhm.
like in the other parts of
Mhm.
the country, but like me
Mhm.
growing up going to airports
Mhm.
in DC,
I
like
bet.
you don't
Yeah.
mess around with those
No.
TSA
Yeah.
agents. And so
Theater.
exactly.
Theater. Oh my
Exactly. So
God.
I think I was also a little bit like, "Oh, this is chill." Which is such a again, white lady thing to do. And so I was yeah, I pull up and you know, they ask like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing in Canada?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
personal versus like business. I was like, oh, it's personal. Like I'm visiting a friend. And they're like, oh, how did you meet this friend?
Oh, right.
And I'm like, on the internet?
And there's just like, there's like 3 like red flag answers to that question. And you hit the first one, the number one.
The number one. And I was like, oh yeah, we met on Instagram. Right. And she was like, tell me more about that.
Oh my God.
So of course I give her like all these details and I start talking about how we like know each other from the internet and we like run a business. Like all this shit.
She's like, did she ask you for your social insurance number? And is she a prince? And she just needs $10,000 for help for her family.
Exactly. And she's looking at me like, she has this like look on her face of like, is this woman in need of assistance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this woman is like trying to like get like, it was like, you know, which again, we're getting really dark here. White lady. Yeah. Sorry, I just hit my freaking mic again. Don't be mad at me. Okay. So anyway.
I got 7 other problems before we get to you hitting your mic, but that's okay.
So anyways, she was like, oh, okay. And like, after I gave her like way too much detail, I think she was a little like, does she need help? And then she was a little like, okay, no, she's just a little like wackadoodle, whatever. And then I go, you know, when you like, so you go through with just the agent first, but then you have to pass through to like pay.
Yeah.
To get over the border.
Your toll. Yeah.
Your toll. So then I pull up to the toll thing and my thing doesn't work.
Which is so weird, because do you know that there's American and Canadian Easy Pass, and why? But we don't have Easy Pass here, so why would you need I don't
know. So weird. My Easy Pass situation, it's like all the things in my life that are supposed to make my life easier that don't. Like I don't understand.
Do you know I'm also still getting tolls from when I saw you almost a year ago when I came down there?
Oh
is that not crazy?
Sure. It's
but
crazy.
I'm like, what fucking basement operation is
like, where's Harold? Yeah, like creating.
Is there just one man who runs Easy Pass? Like, get him help.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Wait. So then I get up to the thing, and my thing doesn't work, and I don't have cash, and so I have to back up. I don't think I told you this. I have to back up and go into another lane. 40
cars behind you also had to back up. You caused the only traffic jam on the Peace Bridge that day.
Yes, exactly. And then I finally get through. And that's why Americans think that Canada is a foreign country.
You know, God bless you.
I'm just kidding.
God bless you. No, Americans think, we can't talk about it. It's bizarre. No. It's bizarre. Yeah. I find it endlessly fascinating, mostly because I have to I interface with it a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm glad you made it over the border.
So fun though.
Yes, it was very nice to have you here. And we did lots of sticky noting.
We did lots of planning, lots of visioning, lots of ideas, lots of
we did so much planning and stuff, though. I didn't get to take you to the places really at all. I didn't take you around town at all.
I was also, it's like, it's like the Philadelphia Hamilton situation. We're just saying where we live. We've talked about where we live, right? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. I was there during when things are not happen.
It was really weird. You the long it's so funny. I mean, that was another thing about being usually, I spend more time up north in the summer, and I was here all summer, and I was it's actually really quiet in the city in the summer because everyone fucks off, and I'm not. It was very weird. It was very, very odd.
So I was there in the beginning of the week too, or towards the middle of the week or something. Yeah. And so in Philly, nothing is open on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Nothing's open. You know what I mean? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If you want to go out for dinner, you may as well kill yourself.
Yeah. So that was
it's so funny. Big cities we live in, and it's still I feel that now. On Monday night, I'm I'm not cooking tonight. And it's no. Yes,
nope,
you are,
you
bitch.
Have to. Or Monday mornings. There's so many coffee shops on Monday mornings here that aren't open. And I'm what says a cup of coffee more
I know.
than a Monday morning? Like,
They're like, I don't want to make that
understand.
coffee. I mean, part of me goes like, you know, more power to you. But then at the other time, I'm like, really? Like really? Anyway.
I don't know.
Anyway. Small towns, but also not towns. Small towns, big cities, big cities, metropolises,
small towns. Exactly. Yeah, it was so bizarre. What else happened this summer?
This is such a recap.
Barbie happened this summer.
Oh my
God.
Barbie
happened through the whole summer.
It was the Barbie summer.
Barbie was the summer.
And you know what's funny? Part of me goes, will this be relevant by the time the podcast comes out? But it was like such a cultural, you know what it reminded me of? What? It reminded me of going to Harry Potter premieres when I was a kid. I would like dress up with my friends and we would go to like I think we would go to the midnight showings or like midnight book openings and stuff like that. Dressing up, and I don't know, like I can't think of another time where I just felt like culturally like everyone was like doing a thing together. So that's always just like fun. I'm not usually a joiner, but it's fun to participate in things with the people sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like
I think that's like kind of how everyone felt about Barbie.
Yeah, I think that's right? Yeah, it's just like let's wear pink and go out.
Yeah.
And be with the people, you know?
Yeah. I think that I was like on it I was surprised when I saw Barbie, and it's like really hard to surprise me because I look at everything before I see things, and I don't let myself just experience things, which is, I don't know, a topic for another time.
But do you know that, like, do you mean like you like spoilers and research or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you know that people report enjoying things more because they like won't let themselves quote unquote just enjoy things because they're like you're taking the expectations out of stuff?
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So just a little fact, just, you know, be nice to yourself.
Oh, cute. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because I'm the same way too. Like I love looking at a spoiler.
I want to know. I want to know everything. I want to know who made this. I want to know when it was made. Same. I want to know, like, I want to know freaking everything.
Me and my IMDb app are like,
yes, I want to know everything.
Like, look, I'm doing the Gen Z heart thing. That's how I feel about the IMDb app.
Yeah, exactly.
What does Gen Z even do? Do they purse their lips?
I don't know what Gen Z does ever. So
Gen Z, write in. Do you purse your lips? And because we would do the like, this is a audio medium, and I'm being extremely visual.
You're being
right now. I'm being you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me and my IMDb app.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was based on what I was seeing on the internet, positive or negative or neutral about Barbie. I hit my mic again.
Oh, I thought you were like the worst thing someone could be is neutral.
I mean, I guess this is more about the negative things, actually. Like, when I went to see Barbie, I thought I was seeing a very different movie based on what I had seen, like, about the commentary online. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I saw it, I was like, I'm confused. Why are we talking about this movie like it isn't what this movie is? Like, I was like,
what like negative stuff do you mean?
Like a lot of like at the end, this is really still about Ken, because we have the whole like, Ken, you can be like liberated, or like you can have agency, and like you can like fight against the patriarchy at the end when he's like, I want to be happy too, and all the Kens want to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, it's still not about the women, or like this is a very white feminist movie, or there's blah 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 blah. Like, there was just like a lot of like, and it's like, you know, I watched it and I was like, I don't understand any of this dialogue around it, because this movie is not doing that. Like I was like I
I know what you're saying.
I was like, this is not an art film about the patriarchy. Like, this is not.
it's got a corporate logo on
It has
it.
a corporate logo on it. Like, it was made by Mattel. Like, I don't understand, like
the executives in the movie are real. Like,
I don't understand, like, what, and I don't know. And, like, obviously this, I get how this, like, also sounds like kind of patronizing and condescending to, like, people who go see movies. I get it. Like, I brought this, like, whole thing to my mom, and my mom was like, Jacqueline, like, the majority of people that are gonna go see Barbie are not, they're not, like, thinking about this like you are. You know what I mean? Like, this might be what they see and think, and, like, around, like, challenging women's, like, role, in, like, these ideas. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the patriarchy and how women, you know, are victims of it. Like, this might be their touch point to that, right? And I'm like, I don't know. I just, like, I thought it was, like, delightful. I thought it was like
I laughed. I cried.
Yes, it was, like, delightful. It was like a fluffy, it's about a toy. Like, I just was like, I don't know. I just was like, I don't know what you thought this was gonna be. And if it's written by a white woman, like, it's like,
well, okay, back up. It's written by a white woman who, I mean, I love Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, of course.
And her husband, a man. Like,
I think that's exactly.
So fucking funny.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know what you all thought this was gonna be. Like, I just, like, and so when I was watching it, I kept, like, waiting. Like, I kept being like, is this gonna be what people are like, like, is this something gonna happen? Is this like a bait and switch? Like, I was, like, waiting, and then, like, it just was delightful.
That's so
funny.
funny.
I was like,
that's so funny.
There are musical numbers in this, y'all. Like, there are, like,
I fucking love that musical number so much, and people hate it.
Yes.
People think it's, like, too long and overdone. I'm like, do you not understand what it's trying to do? Like, that's hilarious.
Yes, and it's also, like, Barbie's world is too long and overdone. Like, I don't get, like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
that's funny.
I don't know. I just, like, I was under the impression I was going to watch a very different movie. And then I was like, oh, that was just a little romp. Cute.
Yeah.
Great.
That's funny.
Bye.
Yeah, I felt similarly. I mean, I do think that, like, movies and TV are a really interesting piece of, and I've been working on some sort of episode about it, but I haven't figured out my thoughts about it. But I do think movies and TV are an interesting art form because they are art and they are part of, like, you know, the creative economy. But, you know, they're a certain level of accessible, right? And so, like, people have thoughts and opinions about them. And I think that's, like, I think part of that's great. I think, but then I also think it's kind of funny the way that we discuss movies, and they're such a huge, this is, like, I'm summarizing a lot of, like, thoughts I have about, like, critics basically at the same time. But, like, it has so many different artists in it, right? Like, there's costume and there's makeup and there's writing and it takes years, and then people watch it, you know, they watch, you know, a 2.5 hour thing, because all movies are 2.5 hours, which is disgusting, and they should be under 2 hours. Everyone, come on, you don't need that much time.
What are we doing?
Yeah. If we can have
keep
a podcast,
the long dance scene. Keep the long dance scene, but under 2 hours.
Yeah, under 2 hours, everybody. And in fact, cut an hour and a half, add a dance scene. Then we're good.
Yes.
Hour 45. Let's wrap it up. So people watch this thing. People watch this thing, and it's years of somebody's life that took to create. And then we watch this thing in 2 hours, and then we walk out of the theater and we think, that was good. That was bad. And I think we do such, like, a disservice to ourselves by, like, thinking that we, like, can't have, you know, critique or opinion or thoughts about something, and we just have to decide if something was good, and then we, like, fucking rate it, and we put it on our letterbox, and then we go to drinks with our friends and we, like, argue about it and, like, who's smart or what it's doing, or you're an idiot if you don't like this thing, or blah 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 blah. And I think that it's, like, I don't know, if you have that much to say, why don't you make a movie then? Like, go make, and I don't mean that in, like, I mean that in, like, a real, like, please go make something way.
Yes, if you have something, like, to contribute, like, go make something.
Like, please go make something instead of just, like, putting comments and like, I don't know, Rotten Tomatoes thing or like yelling about shit
Mhm.
online. Like, oh,
Mhm.
if art like moves something inside of you, then like let that thing be moved. So anyway,
Exactly, yeah.
Barbie.
Exactly. And, like, it's like, have your experience, whatever, but, like, I think there's I don't know. I was just very surprised. I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah.
Like, cool.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I
Kate
loved it for
McKinnon's doing the
exactly what it
splits.
was.
Yeah, like,
That is just extremely me vibes.
oh,
And
yes. Yeah, yeah.
it was
And
also
there
really
was
funny
this
too because I was like, oh, I didn't have Barbies as a kid at all. I got my
mm,
cousin's Barbies, and I thought that was interesting too. I thought everyone was like, I don't know. I like I like people having thoughts and opinions and stirring shit up in people. I think that's like what art's supposed to do. That is like
mhm,
my subscription to art is a reaction of some
mhm.
sort, and like I think then that is successful, right? Like it's doing its job
Yeah,
in a way. It's making you
exactly.
have a thought, and it's also making you wear a pink t-shirt.
Mhm,
So
mhm. And I think, like, I don't know, yeah, I think it's, like, about enjoying things really too.
mhm.
It's like, I feel like we don't enjoy anything anymore, and
Well,
and
because you have to have an opinion about it when you go to the
right,
bar, and you have to have an opinion about it now.
and you have to have
Which
an
is
opinion
also
about it
why I think it's so funny.
now.
It's like, oh, we're still talking about Barbie, like
Mhm.
how 6 weeks ago of us.
Yeah, and I just felt like I went into the bathroom after the movie and, all the women are waiting
Mhm,
in the line,
mhm.
right? And
And you put on your researcher hat, and you were a sociologist in that moment.
you know, no, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm waiting. Like everyone's waiting in the line, and this woman just like looks up at all of us and like looks at the line and goes, "Hi, Barbie," and I was like, "That is why
Oh my
this
god, I'm gonna
movie
cry. I'm gonna
was made,
cry.
right? Like that is why this movie was made. Like that was the point of this movie. All these women are like, they're kind of like everybody kind of had like a sense of wonder or like a sense
Mhm,
of when you like leave like that like
mhm,
transition period when you leave a movie and then you like have to come into reality again in some
mhm,
way, right? Which is why I
mhm,
love fucking going to the movies. But like
mhm,
there's like this like moment, and that moment happens in the bathroom line. That moment
mhm,
happens like waiting for the parking
mhm,
ticket. That moment
mhm.
happens whatever, right? And like we're in the bathroom line and that occurred and I was like that was the point. That's like literally the
Oh
point
my
of this
god, that is
movie.
so
And
cute.
like
Yeah.
cute little exchange. That was so fun. Women exist. Moving on.
That's so cute.
I
I love
just
that.
yeah,
I love that.
it was really lovely. Yeah.
Aw,
Anyways, Barbie
Barbie.
happened this summer. Lots of other wild things in the world happened this summer. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, here we are.
Here we are. What are we talking
Mhm.
about today, Jacqueline?
Today we're talking about, and I really don't know how to name this episode. In the original episode that the episode that wasn't of this
Do we tell the
episode.
people? Do we tell the people of the lost tracks?
Yeah, we can. Sure. Um, what happened? I don't know. We recorded
I
an
don't even
episode.
know.
We recorded an episode in April about this, and then it's gone in a
It's
bathroom
gone,
in a
and
bathroom.
also I couldn't even tell you what was happened, but it wasn't good. It wasn't a good
No.
episode. I'll tell you that. Um, but I think only because you and I are like we're trying to like sort through our like thoughts and feels about something. So I think that was
Hmm.
interesting. But once
Hmm.
again, let us tell the people what we're actually talking about.
Okay, great. Now that we've been chatting about other shit for a half an hour. Um, so I again, I don't know how to end the question. Um,
Hit me.
I really don't. Um, do you ever feel like do you ever feel like you're a
Say it.
bride? Do you ever
Say
feel
it.
like you're a bridezilla? Is my
No.
question.
No. No.
Okay, episode done. Episode over.
I mean, no, for very obvious reasons. I have
Yeah.
never gotten married before. I have never been a bride before.
Mhm.
Two, I fucking hate that word. I
I
fucking
mean,
hate that
yes.
word. I fucking hate
Fuck
that
this
word. I fuck
word.
that word.
Yes.
That makes me want to vom. It does take me to a time and place of the year 1997 to 2003, something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The years of the Bride movie, right? Like the years of like
Yeah, and
27
television.
dresses and
Yeah.
like what's that other one with
Yeah.
with Anne Hathaway and Kate
Oh,
Bride Wars.
Bride Wars?
Yes. And
Oh,
like
God.
all these
Wow.
movies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Not related, not a wedding, but he's just not that into you. Similar.
Ooh.
Similar
Yeah.
genre of just horrified.
Yes.
Horrified
Yeah.
for women.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so I have a few asterisks. I have a few disclaimers. I have a few things for the top of this episode. First thing being, if we name this episode You're a Bridezilla, like guaranteed it's going to get a lot of listens. Like, and that is like,
which is what we're here to do. We're very good at that. We actually are very good at that.
Which honestly kind of further proves the point of this episode, right? But also like, I just want to put it out there that like, I don't know what else to call this.
You're right.
Like,
well,
but
no,
that,
and
right?
I don't think you're wrong for that, right? Like well, actually, I now don't think you're wrong for that, because when we had this initial conversation, I was like, I'm not putting that fucking word on anything. I hate that word so bad. Like I refuse to engage with women. What do we call this when it, like, you know, I guess just oppression of women having thoughts and opinions. But I don't know, what do you call it?
Do you ever feel like you're an oppressed lady?
But I now understand the function of what it's doing. And even in that, you know, if we're going to use this word, it does. Okay. People click on things. People click on more negative things, right? This is why news headlines are skewed negative. Even if they could be a positive thing, they are skewed negative because rage is action, and an action is a click, right?
Right.
Or a play. And so part of me as a marketer, someone who's pretty good at my job, I know what that does. And there is a line where I'm like cool with using that sometimes. And like, we had a real back and forth on like whether or not to use this word. So I'll let you keep talking about why you want to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this word and this kind of conversation, right? This whole kind of general conversation about what we call women is a really confusing maze, right? Like, and I think like, I think there are like certain words that we can kind of take back, right? Like, you know, and there are certain words that we can reclaim. And I don't know if we can reclaim or take back Bridezilla, right? I think we can reclaim and take back bitch. Like, you know,
hell yeah, bitch.
I think there's like certain words that we can, right?
Well,
like,
I guess part of that is like, do I want it?
Okay, so first of all, the term Bridezilla was coined, created, whatever, by a woman.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I could,
right? So, yeah, exactly. So that's also part of it too. Like, can you reclaim, like, I don't know, right? Like but
when
there is this, how? Some wedding blogger, I think in the 90s, coined this term. And it was like a how to avoid this thing.
Oh my God.
My God. Exactly. And so, so
I know it's a hard one.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And like, who to not get into the muck of this, but Phoebe and I on this podcast, right?
Like, just like a tangly set of headphones, we will effort to try and pry them apart. And
Exactly.
probably only tangle them up more.
Exactly. This is like so complicated, but I think what we feel, what fires up this in me, right, is this idea of, and I think a lot of women might feel this way, but like this idea of women are told
Yeah.
that their entire lives, like your most important thing that you can do is get married. Like the most important thing you can do is have a wedding. It gives you value. It gives you access. It gives you, et cetera, right?
Is the most important thing you can do to have a wedding or to be a wife? Or both?
I think the most important thing you can do is be a wife. I think the gift you get is to have this wedding.
The
Right?
exchange.
The exchange.
The final sacrifice, if you will.
And, so I think it's an incredible, it's like everything with women, right? It's a trap, right? It's like this is the most important day of your life. This is the most important thing you'll ever do. This has to be perfect. It can't go wrong. And like, don't even get me started on like the culture now of weddings, right? Of like, this is a 5-day event. You have many outfits. You have this and that. You have blah, 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 blah. Like all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a negative emotion, or if you have expectations, or if you are angry about Uncle Vinny, or if you blah, 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 if you are not grateful, small, quiet, blah, blah, blah throughout this entire thing, then you're a bridezilla. And there's articles, for example, the one where it was originated. There's so much commentary around in the wedding industry around how to not be this way. And it's like,
or if you were like I imagine like a wedding photographer or vendor or something like that, or like, you must deal with these bridezillas all day. Right?
And so then there's this whole kind of section of this industry that kind of like does a lot for the bride, to support the bride, to have the bride not be a bridezilla, to there's like all this stuff, right, within capitalism in this industry, and like conversation or product or experiences or packages or marketing or what I mean, like all this stuff. And like, I think what gets should I talk about myself now?
Yes.
I don't know.
I was about to say that. Why do you feel like a bridezilla, Jacqueline?
I felt like a bridezilla. Yes, I did feel like a bridezilla. And
why?
I felt like a bridezilla because it exists. I think. Like, because because this thing is even a thing is why I felt like a bridezilla.
I Googled the
Instead
definition.
Oh yeah, please.
Just now. Bridezilla, a woman whose behavior in planning her wedding is regarded as obsessive or intolerably demanding. I don't want to be a bridezilla, but so far my attempts at getting people to respect my wishes aren't working.
Yeah. So a trap, right? Like, so I felt like a bridezilla. And I think I've actually had quite a few folks in the last year get married and tell me that they have felt like a bridezilla, gender or not, like gender aside.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Like whoever's
the person in charge of planning the thing is a bridezilla.
Is a bridezilla. And if there is anxiety, stress, negative emotion, blah, 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 like they're too much, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh my God, I felt like this was something I wanted to do, that I consented to it, that I wanted to participate in it, that it felt important to do. And the more I cared about it, the more I was like causing like anxiety, chaos, stress, etc. to the people around me. And it wasn't until honestly, that episode, right, that doesn't exist, like the episode that will never be, that I realized that like I'm a victim. Yeah, like, or not a, God, I hate that word. That it was it's an impossible thing, right? Like you can't win, you know?
Yeah.
And I wanted to feel all the things that everyone says that you're going to feel.
Well, you're supposed to feel.
Or that you're supposed to feel and that you're going to feel when you have a wedding. And I didn't feel a lot of them. And I have a theory that a lot of people don't feel those things and don't talk about it and have this internalized kind of like shame around not, getting yourself to a point where you start quote unquote acting like a bridezilla or whatever, instead of being honest, right, about this trap that you feel like you're a part of, right? Or like this thing that you feel trapped inside of.
I think it's so funny. I feel, and we've talked about this before, I don't even know on what episodes. I know we've talked about it before on the pod. Of like, no one's forcing you to get married in, the year 2023 in North America. Most, okay, not to get dark, but like most places in North America. Anyway, whatever. I won't even invoke the names. Anyway. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably most likely we're forced to get married.
Because I also think, because I also think in my situation, like if we're talking about like my situation, I moved to Pennsylvania and I couldn't get health insurance. So
okay, but you can be married and not have a wedding.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
That was also some of my disclaimers that I feel like I didn't get to. But we should probably edit or put in at some point at the top of like, marriage is different than wedding. Wedding and marriage is different than love. Like we could get all these things really confused. Sorry.
Totally. So yes, actually, it's a good point. I have very little sympathy towards anybody who is having a wedding of any kind and you're stressed about it because no one's forcing your hand.
Yes.
And maybe not very little sympathy. I just I kind of can't really listen to that fucking conversation because it's like you're telling me like a bathing suit that you're trying on is too tight. I'm like, then fucking take off the bathing suit then. But, and at the same time, I do really I do understand. I just have a hard time women having, I mean, this is like a theme of the pod. We sit down at brunch and we have these radical cool ideas and we talk about rising up and we talk about like, I don't know, radical shit. And then we get up and we pick up a rock and we smack ourselves over the head and then we hit each other with patriarchy back and forth until we're bleeding. We're like, oh, it really hurts when I do that, but I just keep doing it. And I think it's so funny, to your point of like, a woman coined this term in the 90s. It's like women are so fucking incredible at convincing themselves of patriarchy and that it's like a great thing. And like, I mean, let's get real here. White women love to, use white, like tenets of, not even just tenets, white supremacy to like, again, smack each other back and forth with. And so it's just like, I have a little bit of a hard time getting real with people when you're not being real with yourself.
Yeah.
And that like, it really it makes me angry. It makes me angry. And like, I don't know what to do with people in my life that come to me and they say, I'm having this is really hard. Or like, I'm getting married and like, it's costing me so much money. And I'm like, may I suggest not then? Like, I don't know what the fuck you want. What is the conversation that we're supposed to be having? Because what you want to hear is, oh my God, it's like really hard.
Yeah.
That's not, I can't, I'm sorry. Like I can't.
Okay. I'm so glad you said this. Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you said this because I think that I felt that not like you and I, just in general, right? Like people being like, well, you made this choice. So go in your grave, right? Or like, what, go to, like, do whatever. You shoveled it out of the earth, so like go lie in it, kind of thing, right?
Go
like,
in your grave.
Go in your grave.
Go die.
A bride. Oh God. Oh jeez. But like, so I get that, and I understand that, and I get that, but I also really empathize with myself and the other people who feel owed this gift in exchange for this whatever, right? Whatever this is supposed to promise you. And I think that is where this gets really hard and like tricky. And I really had a hard time having I had a really hard time having empathy for myself after this. Like it was really hard. And I also first of all, there were so many steps to this. The first thing was deep denial that I felt the way that I felt during it, around it, whatever, right? Then the second thing was like coping with that and like giving myself compassion, because like, again, I hate the term victim, right? But like I'm a part of this
you're
system.
being oppressed by the things that want to oppress you. Like,
right,
I mean, whatever to the word victim, but we could pull out a thesaurus if you'd like.
There's a currency, like I was saying, right? There's a certain currency that I now have, right? Because I participated in this thing, because of this exchange, in all the ways. Like, there's a currency that I have. There's like there's in literally every way. Like in economically, because I'm a woman, because I'm a white woman, because I married a man, because I like there's like all of these things now, right? And I think, again, another disclaimer is I'm not religious or spiritual, right? So that's a whole other
that's kind of why I'm like, unless you're getting down with some sort of like, I don't even know what
is this? Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like, and the tradition, I'm just gonna yell for a second.
Go ahead.
Weddings, like modern weddings, the state of weddings as we know them, are so fucking new. Like, are so new. Like, Pinterest level new. White wedding dresses, the Queen Victoria started. Is it Queen Victoria? Yeah, I think it was Queen Victoria was the first person to wear a white wedding dress. So like, again, that's not even that new. Weddings were an afternoon, maybe. And so it just really cheeses me off that we feel like we're like beholden to these things because, in Disney movies, of like, tales of from the 15th century, so-and-so wears a white dress. Well, that's not fucking true. And it's just like that. Let us use a little bit of critical thinking here, because we feel like, everyone on Instagram is doing something that we have to do the exact same thing as well. And like, again, there are moments where I'm like, okay, Phoebe, have compassion for women. Women make choices. And and then I also go, do people feel like they have a choice? And then also I go, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, you got to be responsible for your own awakening, and some,
exactly.
like, not your fault, but is your responsibility kind of vibes. And it feels crazy to say that about a seating chart.
Like, yes, totally.
If this is a task you do not want,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I
resist, rise up.
Yes, exactly. And I think for my personal, like, I had so many moments where I was like, I feel so alone in this feeling, and I don't understand like why we're not saying anything. Like, it's like, this is just, and maybe this is literally just a message to like white hetero women, right? Like, I don't know. I do also wonder though,
in that same conversation of like, I don't feel like I need to get married for many, 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 many. I don't feel like I need to get married. And I also don't have to. Like, I don't have to for health
Yeah.
insurance. I don't have to for immigration. I don't have to for my well-being and safety,
Yeah.
right? I don't have to because I have, a fine amount of rights. I don't really love that if something were to happen to Simon, I don't technically have any legal right to
Mm.
his body or anything like that. Like, that's
Yeah.
fucked up, but whatever. And so at the same time, I do understand, like, again, but this is kind of conflating marriage and weddings at the same time. Like, I just fuck off.
Totally. I am talking about weddings.
Yes,
Right?
weddings.
Like, we're talking about brides. We're talking about being a bride in this like wedding industry, this capitalization of this of marriage. We're not talking about going to, you don't even have to go. We're not talking about looking at another person and saying like, okay, fine. Like, that's not what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
What we're talking about
fine.
is is like all of the event and the money.
Truly,
and
the only marriage I respect is one that
okay,
says,
fine.
okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly.
Exactly. And I feel like I have an okay, fine marriage. And that's what I'm saying, is I think why I got so like, what the fuck is happening here, right? Because
I think this is where like Priya Parker comes into the thing, right?
Priya Parker.
And
I was just going to talk about Priya Parker's recent kind of dive into weddings.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen this.
I have.
Yes?
It's very interesting.
Yes.
I know
And
she got married a
divorce.
while ago, and divorce, yes, as well.
Mhm.
I think, asking ourselves what we want. Priya Parker, for the people that don't know, incredible facilitator at gatherings. What's her book?
Yes. The Art of Gathering.
The
by
Art
Priya
of
Parker.
Gathering.
Mhm.
And I see intention missing in so much of the world. And I think a place that intention is really missing is where we feel like we should be doing something or we have to do something. And it
Mhm.
needs to look a certain way. And I got to do a certain thing. I got to wear a certain kind of clothes. I got to act a certain kind of way. That does not fucking work for my constitution for many a reason, which I would love to give you speaking of the summer, I would love to give you a report back from the journey I've been on. That's not how the healthcare system works here. So I don't have any paperwork for you. Anyway, that doesn't work for me for many different reasons. And so, maybe a little part of me, I don't know, maybe I have like an advantage that way of like this, just like genetically on a cellular level, like I cannot walk into a place and not see a big pink elephant and talk about it. I'm sorry, like, don't invite me to the place where I need to like see a big pink elephant, not talk about it.
Yeah.
And so part of, I see that, whatever, I'm talking about myself again. I see that as a superpower, but like, if we are not moving with intention, then you're going to be disappointed about something. And so if, Bridezillas, I am on your side. You have an intention. You have a point, a purpose I hope you have a purpose to your gathering. You want a donut wall. And because donuts were on your 7th date in September, you wandered across a cruller stand.
Donut.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
And that informs part of the intention of the gathering. And now the donut supplier is late and you're still have rollers in your hair, and Aunt Josephine, who said she was going to be there to receive the donuts, is now drunk at the bar downstairs instead. Like, I see that.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
And then I say, get in the car and run. Like,
this is what I'm saying.
Like, the answer is not destroy, build, destroy. No, sorry. Actually, the answer is destroy, build, destroy. The answer is not just carry on and like, we'll get the donuts come hell or high water. Like, fuck the donuts and run.
Yes. And here, okay. Oh, I'm so glad you said this, because I think we're kind of getting to the crux of the episode, and maybe we should have cut the beginning of it. Okay. And again, this is like part of how much I want to share about my life, but I feel like I was surrounded by people who were like, also like like thought that the way to help me was to get us through the finish line. Right. Was to figure out someone else to get the donuts.
Yeah.
Instead of, even though I felt like I was saying fuck the donuts, everybody around me was like, don't fuck the donuts.
Donut. Don't you remember the 7th of September?
Exactly.
When you looked a lover in the eye through a cinnamon sprinkle?
Exactly. Like, don't fuck the donuts. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to give you every single thing that you want, even if you are miserable. Right. Yeah. And I felt like, this is what I'm talking about of the maze, because I felt like a Bridezilla because I had all these negative, quote unquote, negative feelings. Right. Or I had these like whatever. But then also I was trying to not be miserable. And in my trying to not be miserable, I'm pushing up against the things that people...
Yeah, you're just gaslighting yourself.
Right, exactly.
Historically goes super well.
With all of this shit. Exactly. But like I was like trying really hard to be like, no, I don't care if that's not done. Fuck that. I just don't, like, we won't need it. Who cares? Or I don't care, blah, 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 right? But then everyone around me was like, don't piss this person off. Don't do this. Don't do that. My role is to like keep the bride happy, you know? And last time we recorded this episode, Phoebe said to me, the next time you get married, I think she said the next time you get married, I'll tell you not to, or not even that. Like the next time you get married, like, and you're feeling this way, like, let's get in the car and go.
Yeah.
Right. And, or I'm sorry, excuse me. Again, see, next time you have a wedding.
Yeah.
The next time you get married, the next time you have a wedding, let's get in the car and go. And I cannot tell you, I had this moment where I brought two of my best pals in the bathroom with me at the beginning of our wedding party. And I had every feeling in my body was like, this was a terrible idea. I should not have done this. Like, why am I doing this? This is so not okay. But I could not say it, right? Yeah. Like I could not say it. And I feel like I was trapping myself in the bathroom. I'm getting very vulnerable, but I don't care. I'm just like trapping myself in the bathroom with my two best pals. And I was like, I literally had the thought of like, oh my God, what if I just wasn't here? What if I left? You know, like what if I just said, never mind everybody, bye. Like this is just for Jack and I, which is how I originally intended it anyways. You know what I mean? Like what would I, like, I felt it was not good. And I didn't say it, right? And I could tell that the two people in the bathroom with me were like waiting almost. And then like I didn't say anything. And we kept it moving. We didn't take down the donut wall. We just kept it moving, you know? And that happened a few times throughout like the whole weekend where I was like, I don't like this. I'm not having fun. This is stupid. This is dumb. I'm exhausted. I hate everything about this. Why are we doing this? I want to go home. This was late. Fuck these people. Like over and over again. And we had a lot of stuff go wrong. Like, don't get me wrong.
When I tell people about your wedding, you had like, not even just everything, like everything go wrong.
Went wrong.
People don't believe me when I tell you about the number of things that went wrong with your wedding.
I know.
And let me also say, I had a lovely time. It
was a beautiful time.
It was fine. And I think this is the funny thing about things, quote unquote, going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
The food was late. You had a different dress than planned. No one the whole drank too much wine. Stayed up past my bedtime, you know, and
exactly.
Like what?
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like
every other wedding that we all go to, you know, like totally. I don't. Yeah. And I'll also say your wedding was super lovely because you didn't fucking trap people there for upwards of 8 hours. Why does your wedding require it to start at 3 p.m.?
Yeah.
I am not okay with that. You owe me money.
Yeah.
/ I'm not coming.
I was having a lot of this is a very simple thing. I was having a lot of complicated feelings under the patriarchy. And I didn't know where to go with them, who to turn to them, who to talk to about them. Why do like I felt totally trapped in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until way after when we recorded that episode
mm-hmm.
that I didn't even realize this, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And the reason I'm recording it right now is to say, fuck this, obviously, fuck Bridezilla, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I did feel that way. I think
Yeah.
this is a really unfair thing that we do
Yeah.
in the wedding world and do to women. And also, I felt important. It felt really important for me to continue on and to re-record this episode because
Mm-hmm.
we don't say anything, because
Yeah.
we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I ever hear anyone saying, you know what? I was really disappointed by the fact that I chose to do that, by the fact that I
Mm-hmm.
chose to have a wedding, by the fact that I chose it, this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we say it to our, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but I don't even think you would. You're like, actually, my shoes really pinched my feet all day.
yeah,
And
exactly.
oh my God,
That's
my
what
feet
I
were
mean.
so sore.
Yeah. We say
Like,
it in
oh
the
my God,
slightest
my
little ways. Like,
hair
my
looks
mom
crazy. Yeah, my
really
mom was
pissed me
being a
off. She
fucking
was being
bitch all
crazy.
day.
You know what I mean? But no, we do not say, oh, I totally abandoned myself
Yeah.
for this, like,
Yeah.
gift or
Yeah.
whatever. And I did.
Yeah.
And it's not a good feeling.
No, I think it's so, when we abandon ourselves, like, we fucking know. We fucking know.
Yeah, we know.
And the only reason we ever abandon ourselves is to make somebody else happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing that feeling of, like, this, like, vibration of, like, this is not right, but I am doing something to make somebody else, like, it's terrifying to be in that situation. It's terrifying to be in that situation.
It is.
So,
and my wedding party was fucking awesome and beautiful, and I love Jacque, and I love all the people that were there, and I can hold these two things at the same time.
I talk about your dad's speech all the time.
I mean, we had some of the best speeches ever. Like, it was great. It was really
lovely.
Great. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And that is the
next time you get married,
tension.
Be a guest.
Be a guest. Yeah. And that is the tension that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't have advice. I just have my own experience, right?
No.
Like, and
I wonder about two things. Okay, first, let me so we started with Jacqueline. Do you ever feel like a bridezilla? Yes.
Yes.
Would you have a wedding again?
Yes.
Would you do it completely differently? Would you not care about the donut wall? Or do you think just having that information would change you now?
No.
Oh, you think you'd torture yourself again?
Yeah.
I don't think you would.
This is so hard, right? Because I'm saying I had a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
This is I had a wedding. I went to the courthouse and I got married to Jacque, and we did have the pomp and celebration and circumstance. And I had the dress, and I had the nice dinner, and I had that. I would never, like, I would do that again. Like, I would do that again. So maybe you're right. I would do it differently. Yeah. Like, I would just have done that. I wouldn't have done all the other shit. I wouldn't have had the party. I wouldn't have had the blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't have had the exactly what you're talking about, the thing that's going to make the other people feel whatever. Right. And yeah. And that's why I say to people, whoever says, you know, every time now someone says to me, oh, I'm engaged, I'm going to have a wedding, I say, do it yourselves first. Like, get married alone. And then like, it won't matter. You know what I mean? Like, that this whole thing went to hell. And I think if I didn't have that, this would be a whole, like, I would be like, really, I can't even imagine, like, going through how I was feeling that whole entire day having a wedding party, and like, you're actually like, and you're actually getting married that day, like, and you're actually making that decision. Like, I cannot imagine that at all. I had a year, or no, I had 3 years go by between the two. You know what I mean? And I still felt like this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Nothing is easy with me.
Y-
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. I felt like a Bridezilla. I think I would have a wedding again, and I think I would do. I think I would have the wedding that I had. Like I would think I would do the courthouse thing again,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel terrible saying that. And that's
That's
part
interesting.
of the thing. Here's the thing. I feel like God, this episode, I'm so sorry. I feel like if I was able to say in the party, if I
Mhm.
felt, this is what I'm saying, the radical
Mhm.
we have at brunch,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
If I felt like I could have said during the party, if someone's like, "Are you having a wonderful time?" If I could have said no, like if I could have been honest with myself in that way, I feel like I would have an entirely different opinion about this experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I felt like I couldn't do that. And I felt
Yeah.
trapped. Like I felt like I couldn't leave. I felt like I couldn't be honest about how, you know, like,
I am wondering how. I'm wondering how you, one, is a woman in the world.
mhm,
And could we ever make a choice that aligns with patriarchy and it be for ourselves at the same time? I am really struggling with that.
yeah.
I'm really struggling with that. I am really struggling with how do we not abandon ourselves and our beliefs and
Mhm,
our what I genuinely believe at the end of the day is like not just my own liberation, but the liberation of everybody else around me.
yeah.
Because I'll say this from as an not just you, like an outsider in your life, but like looking at the world. When I see a sister
Mhm,
get engaged and wear a
mm,
white dress, I go, fuck, we lost
mm,
one. And that's very extremely anti-woman of me. And I'm very, very,
mm,
very, very aware.
mhm.
But I really wish all of our internalized misogyny we would lay out on the table and sort through a whole lot
Yeah,
more before we
yeah.
go, I want this. Why do I want this?
Mhm,
What will this bring me? Will it make me more powerful, likable,
mhm,
wealthier? I don't even fucking know what, right?
mhm, mhm.
Um and even at the end of the day, I kind of feel the same way about weddings as I do about lip fillers. Even at the end if if you at the end of the day like, you still say yes after, but like after interrogation and intention. That's what I need
Yeah.
from the people. I need interrogation and intention. Um,
I think, yeah,
yeah.
I think I can say that. I think I can say that. I think I can say that. I think I
Mhm.
can say that that was for me.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
And I think I can say, I think I did that interrogation and that intention when I got married. I
Mhm.
don't think I did that when I decided to
Mm.
have a charade
Mm.
about it.
Mm.
Like, no, and that's why they were very different things,
Mm.
you know?
Mhm.
That's why you didn't hear vows at my wedding party.
Yeah, I don't want to no one wants to hear your fucking vows.
No one wants to
Everyone,
hear your
no one
fucking
hears your
vows.
fucking vows. It's like no one gives a shit. Maybe
Well,
your mother, but like that's
yeah.
about it.
Like, cause I mean, here's the thing is like, if I'm really honest with myself, I got married because I needed healthcare. Like,
Yes,
it was a
and that is like
practical decision. It
a
was a
very
practical decision.
and that is what let us return to tradition. Reject modernity. Like like let us say that a marriage is a function of something.
Yes.
You can have romance in your own fucking
Yeah.
privacy of your own house.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I I think it's so funny. Again, like I maybe this is why we've landed in this place and why I think Priya Parker is doing such a her work is so kind of the moment right now is like we're conflating two things and two
Yeah.
love and law do
Are
not serve
not.
the same things and therefore you will be disappointed.
Yes.
Um if your
Yes.
intention is two things. You can't hold two things at the same time. That's just like you're going to drop them.
Mhm.
Um I'm sitting here wondering how we wrap this episode up. I think we've kind of done a little bit of it. You know, would you get married again? I guess maybe, and I don't really like advice very much, but something along the lines of like, I guess maybe, yeah, like how does one get married without abandoning ourselves? How does one have a wedding without abandoning ourselves? I think we need to have a common goal, right? Not a common goal. We need to have a goal in mind. And does everything serve
That goal.
the goal, the purpose?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have to have a common goal. I think it has to be intentional. I, like I'm like I always come down. I hear you. I hear you, Phoebe. But I always come down to this compassionate part too, right? Like I always come down to this angle of like I hear you of like we've lost another one, but then I also very much am like you are out here surviving in this system. Like I
but
can't.
I don't think you need to survive in a system with a white dress.
Oh no
I don't
no
think
no
you need
no.
to.
Yeah.
I don't
No
think
no
you.
no.
That is not
Yeah.
surviving. That is like, again, like be honest about why you wearing a white dress makes you feel more valuable. You
Yes.
know.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And
Yes.
I cannot be actually very compassionate with people who benefit from these things. I cannot be compassionate if we're just going to keep oppressing other women after oh, you're not married. You're
Oh
not
yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Like fuck that
Yes.
shit. I cannot
No.
maybe not being
When are you getting
compassionate is not the
married?
right
When are you
word.
having
Is
kids?
yeah, is that is the anti-woman shit. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
the like I said, I understand why you want to feel that way. Deal with it.
Yeah. Deal with
Deal
it.
with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
The
That
answer is not address. The answer
they
is
yeah.
therapy.
Right. The goal. Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
common goal.
Yeah.
The common goal is dealing with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure. I felt like I was smarter
Mm.
than this thing. And
She
yeah,
got.
and I'm not. And
I mean,
yeah.
I'll tell you this too, you know, like I am so I just genuinely had no interest in getting married.
Yeah.
And now everyone's making it become a personality trait of mine based on principle at this point. And I'm
Mm,
not happy about it, but it pisses me off. It pisses me
mm.
off. And it even pisses me off that once a week I go, "Oh, should I get married? Oh, fuck, should I get
Oh yeah.
married?" And
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
"Ah, the call's coming from inside the house."
Oh, yes.
Ah!
Yes. 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 Yes.
And that
Yes.
that
Yes.
is what I need everybody to be doing at all
Yeah.
times, is to go, "Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
whoa."
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not you get married, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
Like
it's
what's the
when
goal? What's the intention?
but
Like,
it's
yes,
when we're
yes.
losing ourselves, and when you
Yeah.
come to me complaining about a seating chart and I go, "Well, do you really give a shit about a seating chart? Does the
Mm-hmm.
seating chart serve your purpose?" And you don't have a very nice answer?
Mm-hmm.
Not even for me, for yourself?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, friend. I'm getting a school bus and I'm picking up all the Bridezillas and we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
We're getting
We're
out of here.
going away.
We're going to Barbie land, actually.
We're
Like,
going to
I'm
Barbie
not.
land.
Where does Ken
Yeah.
live? I don't know. That is the utopia I'm going for, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. I think, yeah, intention, goal, and like it's like, yeah, really, really get honest with yourself.
Mhm.
And I think also it's people who feel this way, and he's talking about anything, right? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say like people should feel responsible for like saving other people from their decisions. No.
Mhm.
But like talk about the shit that's hard
Yeah.
to talk about. Like
Yeah.
I almost didn't want to re-record this episode.
At
You know?
brunch.
Like
at brunch and
at
after
brunch.
brunch.
And yes,
at the
brunch.
bank. At
Brunch.
the bank. At the doctor's office. I just got married. Oh my God. No, I hated it.
I
Leave
hated
it there.
it.
Let
Yeah.
that stink in the room.
Yeah, yeah. And like yeah, totally. I don't know where we're gonna put this, but I judged someone super harshly that after their wedding said, that was terrible. And I've actually had a couple people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I judged them and was like, why'd you do it then? I didn't say this shit, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had this like, I know better, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to like, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I'm smarter. And it's like, no, I should have turned to that person. That's the thing. Ooh, that is the thing. What do you say to the person that says, I had a wedding and I hated it? What is that? I think is the thing, right? When we're talking about like, what do we do? Right. And I think, how do you respond to that? You know?
Yeah.
Phoebe's answer is, all right, let's get on the bus.
Yeah.
And go to Barbie Land.
Let's go.
Like, yeah.
Let's just go into the woods.
Yeah, I think my response,
and scream under the moonlight with a fire and twigs in our hair. Like, again, what are we doing here?
I think my response is like, yeah, I see you. I hear you. Your complicated fucking maze feelings in being oppressed in this system are seen and understood.
You got got.
Yeah, you got got. And like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I see you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, you shouldn't feel shame about that. Like, et cetera, you know? And I think we do this to moms.
Oh. All of patriarchy is a fucking MLM, and we only can feel good about our decision if we make other people feel bad about theirs, right? If we just sell more people into the trap, then we're like, well, then this is fine. I'm not suffering because I've at least I dragged my best friend into it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we complain about our husbands over wine together. Ugh.
Okay, we really got to stop.
We got to stop. Yes, we do it to mothers. Go listen to the Motherhood is an MLM episode. We got to get out of here. We have to go and do some more filming, actually. So, actually, do you have any final words?
Yeah, I think the fact that we can't wrap this up is like exactly what this is, right? Yeah. It's like we're navigating.
No, it's not cute. It's not cute.
It's
and
not
don't
like
try to make it cute with your fucking mason jars.
Yeah, you can't like button it up. You can't put it on a donut wall. You can't like, it's just not possible. And I think
it's not like, Pinterestable at all.
It's not. And I think that is what I'm here to do, is just be like, this is the vulnerability and the truth of the matter. And I guess I'm hoping that the response will be, we see you. We're sorry. You got, right? Like,
Jacqueline. I see you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I don't even think I can call you. No, I can't even say as your best friend, because I'm something far more disgusting than that.
Yes, you are. Disgusting is the perfect word.
Something far more insidious. As you really, you're the third in this marriage. I should have called a car and snuck you out the back of the restaurant, and we should have just gone to a third undisclosed location for an undetermined amount of time. Yeah. And next time you have a wedding, I will have the car on standby.
The car on standby. Yeah, thanks. Love you.
And thank you for being vulnerable on the internet. I appreciate it.
Look,
and I know the people appreciate it as well.
If me saying something like this gets a gal to go, fuck it, and not do it, like, great.
And you know what? The only one that's going to get canceled on this episode is me. So don't worry about it. It will always be me. You have hitched your cart to a wild donkey.
No.
Okay,
love you.
Okay, we gotta go film, because today the podcast came out, but also our actual agency has launched today. Do You Ever Media has actually launched, even though we launched over a year ago.
I mean,
but it is actually the 1 year anniversary. What was the 1 year anniversary of the podcast coming out? Already.
September, yeah.
It was September, but anyway. So go check out the Instagram. Looks new and different. Do You Ever Media. We've got like a fun little introduction. That's what we're going to go film right now.
Yes. If you follow us on Do You Ever Pod, stop that and go follow us on Do You Ever Media.
Yes. Yes. We'll be moving all of our stuff over there. I mean, you can still follow that account. I don't know if we'll still use
whatever.
it.
I don't know your life. Sure.
Who's to
follow
say?
Both of us. Who cares?
And yeah, we'll be back every other week, same schedule. If you write in, etc., respond at you can write to doyoueverpod or doyouevermedia@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can cancel me. Tell Jacqueline she's so sweet and beautiful for being vulnerable. I don't know what your prerogative is. It's not my business. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Follow this chaos wherever you get your podcasts.
Our artwork is by Simon Peng. Do You Ever Feel Like is produced by Jacqueline Wills
and Phoebe Taylor. You can follow us on Instagram at doyoueverpod.
You can write to us at doyoueverpod@gmail.com. Okay, bye.
Bye.